It's a cool lamp.
Right?
Wow. Okay. Whoa, oh no, wait, Hey everyone, good evening. Welcome once again. We are Two Geeks on a Couch. My name is Friedel.
And I'm Edward.
And tonight we are watching our 15th movie. We have set a goal for 113. Is that right?
Arbitrary goal of 113 horror movies.
Welcome to number 15. And
so many more to go.
Yeah, so many more. And the list is actually growing. I don't think that it's 113 anymore.
We're just going to keep saying 113. And we'll see what we're going to do when we get to 113. And of course, we're going to watch other ones in between too. But that's the main quest. It's 113.
Yes, main quest, 113 horror films. We're at film number 15. So we're definitely on some sort of path. We're committed.
We are moving forward.
We're moving forward.
And what's the horror movie we're going to watch tonight?
It Follows.
I'm so excited to watch this with you. This is in the vein of queer indie horror from a couple of years ago that I think is pretty amazing. It's got a 95% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm not the only one, but I'm excited to see what you think of this movie.
Shout out to one of our Patreon subscribers, Isla, who very generously has been recommending this film to us, and we are super excited. So shout out to Isla. This is for you.
Whee!
Whee!
On that note, if you like what we're doing here and you want to see more of it, you want to support our channel, boop that subscribe button, give us a like, and we'll be back every week. And if you want even more, if you want to dig deeper, you want more conversation, more watch alongs, more videos of us doing our reaction thing, head over to Patreon where you can vote on what we're going to watch. You can make recommendations. They get considered more highly than other recommendations, and you'll have access to a bounty of great video content from the Two Geeks.
Two Geeks with Zero Chill.
Two Geeks with Zero Chill. Well, I have a lot of chill. And
you have a lot of
chill.
Yeah,
so it balances out.
Yeah.
We meet in the middle.
You have a ton of chill. I don't know. Have you seen this film before?
I've seen this film. It's been a couple of years. I've seen it maybe twice. It is a film that bears repeating.
Nice.
It bears repeat watches if you're into it, right? There's a lot to pick up on and pick apart. It is not one of the overly explained movies out there in the world.
Okay.
So there's a lot left to interpretation, I think.
Great. I'm looking forward to reacting and then over-explaining.
Yes.
Yes! Maybe. I don't know anything about this film.
You've seen no trailers. You've seen nothing.
Yes, I was really good. I didn't look at a trailer. I didn't go do any kind of research. I don't know who's in it. I don't know who directed it. I don't know when it came out. I know zero things about this film. No things.
Okay. It's just 2 words on a Patreon comment that you were like, cool, let's do it.
Yeah. I've been calling it They Come Along for weeks.
That's not necessarily completely wrong, but
it
follows is a little bit more menacing.
They come along.
They come along is people tagged along. It's fine.
Right.
It follows maybe not. Happy Pride. It's still June, and this is part of our Pride horror movie series.
Yeah, it's still June. Happy Pride, everyone.
YouTubers, tell us what your favorite independent horror movie is in the comments below. I'm really curious to know. And if you think we should watch it.
Yeah.
I feel like the more independent a movie is, the more logos there are.
Just know that I love you,
Great
okay?
way of draining your battery. Whoa, oh no, wait,
Yeah.
It's a cool lamp.
Right?
It looks like Michael Myers' vehicle.
Now that we're old enough, where the hell do we go?
I'm not gonna hurt you.
What?
You're not gonna believe me.
I don't believe you.
And I need you to remember what I'm saying. This thing, it's gonna follow you. Somebody gave it to me, and I passed it to you.
Wow, okay. I'm really enjoying the cinematography.
It's really great on like every level, right? The lighting, the mood, the atmosphere, the framing.
Framing is so good.
So good.
Oh, I really like that all of the color palettes like verge on oversaturation.
I love too how the camera moves.
Yeah. Doesn't mean that there's no one there, because he wouldn't be able to see whatever's following her anyway. Also, open window check.
Although it was closed.
Broken windows count as open windows. Whoa. Don't do it.
Is something wrong with me?
Everything's okay. Jay! What are you doing? That person is 7 feet and 7 inches tall.
Yeah, it was a tall person. It's creepy. It's a creepy premise. Interesting too that the adults are non-existent.
Yeah.
Even when they had shots of them, they were blurred or in the distance or from behind, like they're not present.
Suddenly become a very strange D&D adventure.
Right? Like when there is soundtrack, it's amazing. The music is great. It's a tense movie.
Yeah, I'm noticing that this movie has really great daylight horror tension and does it really fucking well.
It does it really well. And there's some Halloween vibes. Right?
Totally some
the tracking shots and on the street and on the sidewalk. And
Edward, would you like a piece of trivia about the house that they're about to go into?
Sure.
Okay. This house was called the American Foursquare, and it was really popularized from the 1890s to the 1930s. And many of the floor plans were circular. And so, as in the traffic patterns of the house, you could proceed through several rooms without coming to a dead end. So you could literally move through the house in a circle and come out the way that you entered.
Super useful for this movie.
Yeah. So the more fluid floor plan would be really helpful in escaping someone who is slowly stalking you through a space.
It's interesting. I like the setup. I like the originality of it. I like how it's that horror movie trope of sort of teenagers being punished for having sex, but there's like a twist to that, right? Like
yes.
Yeah.
God. The composer is the person over the intercom.
It should be easy for her. She's a girl. Any guy would be just sleep with someone else.
All right, well then who's that person?
Greg. Jay, what do you see?
Such a great shot.
Oh, fuck.
What the fuck, Mom?
The most uncomfortable way to sleep ever.
Did you know that the main character's name is a shout out to Jamie Lee Curtis?
Oh, is it really? What's the main character's name?
Jay.
Oh, right.
And her sister's name is Kelly. And Jamie Lee Curtis has a sister named Kelly.
So we're not over reading into the Halloween references here.
No, probably not.
Ew, it's disgusting.
Whatever. There's chlorine.
They've gotten very creative. Like, even this shot is so surreal and dreamy.
And unsettling.
Yeah.
Because she has no head.
Jay, look out! Oh my god, somebody help her!
This is not going according to plan.
Jay, just keep pointing at it!
Oh my god.
Give me your hand! Come on! Jay!
Oh no. I'm being suggested the Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring extended edition as the next thing I should watch. It's random.
That doesn't make any sense.
0 sense.
It is, of course, a way of all things.
Did you know that in addition to John Carpenter, the director David Robert Mitchell has also cited George Romero as an influence for the style, the approach to this movie. I don't see that one as much as I see the John Carpenter. John Carpenter's all over this, but we weren't wrong seeing Halloween influences here.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think?
I thought it was scary.
Yeah.
I think that part of what's scary is that we don't understand enough about the mechanics of the curse or the hex or the haunting. I think it turns the trope of punishable teenage promiscuity totally on its head. Maybe just for me, because I don't find teenage promiscuity, in quotations, like problematic. Like, if you think that teenagers aren't going to have sex just because they shouldn't, I don't understand what world you're living in. Like,
right, but that is a trope in movies and has been, especially in slasher movies, right?
Yes.
But it's interesting, like this is encouraging teenagers to have more sex because of the nature of the curse, right?
Right.
If you don't want to die, you have to pass it along. It's like The Ring, which you haven't seen.
I haven't seen it. Yeah, and I think that the moral conundrum here is less about commentary on whether or not teenagers are sex and that's what's punishable, but more about this sort of internal, like, horrible internal conundrum about like who and how you pass it on. And
do you even? But it's not like that. It's not even like that ends it, right? Like, right. And so it just goes back down the line.
When they find him at his house, he even says, like, I still see it.
Yeah. Right. And she saw it too, right? She saw it when it broke into Greg's house.
Yes. yeah, so it's kind of like you don't really get rid of it. And maybe then what you're haunted by is knowledge that you've passed it on.
It's almost like choices have consequences, and you're forever haunted by those choices.
Yeah.
Which goes back to what, Hugh Jeff was saying about wanting to be the kid. Like, the kid is free from the consequences of his choices largely, right? Like, there's a freedom there. Like, that kid can shit his pants and whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, there's this freedom there that is removed from having to worry about that stuff. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I really think that the entire movie is about, or at least how it's landing in my body tonight, is about what happens when we reach maturity and we step through these thresholds of maturity, and all of the narratives that we grow up with around what freedom is going to feel like, in terms of how it's supposed to, like, we write these like narratives of liberation for ourselves, right? About what it's going to be like when we're adults, what it's going to be like when we can make choices, when we have more agency, more bodily autonomy and sovereignty. And then we pass through those thresholds, and what happens is that we're greeted, at least, I mean, I think this was true for me, it's not was the sensation of liberation, but the liberation had consequences.
Right. You're faced suddenly with the responsibility and consequences of all of the choices you make. Your parents aren't there to shield you from it. You don't get free passes like you did when you were in school or you were a kid. Like, you can't just shit your pants and not face the consequences.
But there's also like I think that what comes with that is this like something that, at least for me, happened at like a psycho spiritual level of actually like that somehow that freedom was now tethered to ideas of death, of my own mortality, of this idea that I was going to continue, like, all of what was ahead of me was, yes, freedom of choice, but choice around these big questions around identity, what it meant to be alive, what it meant to be human, like
existential dread around, are you going to, or have you made a choice that will be your undoing on some level?
Sure. Yeah. I'm a fan of this film.
It's good, right?
I really liked it.
How do you feel about that ambiguous ending? Is that the it behind them? Or is that just someone walking down the street?
Or is that just someone walking?
Which I love, by the way.
Yeah, I thought the ending was great.
Because then you're always thinking about it. There's always more to discuss there. There's, sometimes it's nice to have it all tied up in a neat bow, but it's fun to leave it open-ended.
I really enjoyed the ambiguity of the ending. Mostly because it doesn't matter in some ways.
Right.
Whether
they've made these choices, and right.
I think what I found interesting about the ending was that, like, it's clear that those two individuals at some level have consented to trying to, like, move into the future together, fully in acknowledgement that there is going to be something behind them that follows them. Right.
Which is what you do, right? When you I don't know, what do you call it, pair bond with someone, or you shack up in a relationship. You're bringing with you all of your past choices, and they're bringing with them all of theirs, right? And you're making this sort of acknowledgement that, like, whether it's implicit or not, but you're acknowledging, like, yeah, okay, like, we're sort of joining all of our baggage together here and moving forward, for better or worse.
For better or for worse. I also wanted to just say real quick, one of the things that I think I read in this film is also this idea that, like, we often can use and maybe this is a bit, I'm not trying to slut shame anybody here, and maybe this is too much about, I'm pulling too much from my own Buddhist background. I think that for me, there's something about the potential, the dangers, or the existential angst or the existential crisis that is created when we try to use things like sex to escape from the things that are haunting us, and that we that in our intimacy, or in our lack of intimacy, that we often project onto others, and that we don't take accountability for. We use intimacy or a lack of intimacy to compensate, and that compensation doesn't work.
That's a fairly common thing that happens without getting into any personal experiences.
Yeah. So I thought that was really interesting. That, like, I also think it's really interesting that there is no slut shaming in this film whatsoever.
Yeah, no, none at all.
None that I can find.
No one makes any negative comments about the sexual choices that anyone makes, and people are very well aware of it. Her two sisters are very well aware of everything that she's doing.
Yes.
And they don't even give so much as a side eye.
No.
For what's
and
happening.
They don't. Their
parents don't either, even though they're sort of off screen. But
right, but like there's not even the typical like villain or gaslighting that happens either, right? They never blame her for what's happening, and they never throw her under the bus.
Right.
Yeah, I think that this film got a lot of things right.
Yeah, hence my high score.
Yeah.
It just works. Yeah. It's really spot on. Thanks you all for watching. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride, everybody.
We will see you here next week for another movie reaction.
Same couch time, same couch channel.
Bye.
Have a good night, everyone. Bye.